crispy, crunchy fried beef smothered in a sweet, tangy, spicy kind of sauce. This is my version of crispy chili beef. Okay guys, one of the things that is really bad about beef stir fries, first of all, is that the beef is really tough. So how do we get beautifully tender but crispy beef? Well, let's get straight into that. Now, I am using some rump steak here because I think, you don't always want to be using really premium, expensive cuts. So rump steak or a chuck steak here is totally fine. The key is slice it really thin into these little sort of strips, and that's going to mean that we get a really crispy coating, cooks really quickly, so it stays nice and tender in the middle. That's what we're going for first of all. So into our bowl. And then a couple of things here. I want some soy sauce. This is mainly for flavor. It's gonna make everything beefier, which is great. And then some garlic. And just give that a good mix. Now, soy sauce marinades don't take much time to work their magic here. So the next thing we need is some corn flour. So the corn flour is our other little trick here. It kind of gives us that crispy texture on the outside of the beef, but also gives us some protection and kind of keeps the middle from drying out. Now, it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly evenly coated here. Kind of a bit of rough coating is going to add to the texture, that kind of crispy, craggly sort of bits and pieces that you get at the end. You'll see when it comes out. Stay tuned, trust me. Okay, now what you need is some hot oil, and to test if our oil is hot enough, you just want to grab a chopstick or a wooden spoon, pop that in, and you want to see some nice, furious little bubbles. All right, so that's looking good to me. Now we're gonna go in with the beef. So another little tip here, guys, just do this in batches, because if you put too much beef into your oil temperature will drop, and that will give you a soggy fry, which no one wants a soggy fry, because frying is all about getting crispy things. So in you go with your beef. Don't worry, it'll be a little bit sticky at this point. We'll kind of get them separated in a minute. And now as they're bubbling away, you just want to be using some chopsticks or a wooden spoon here to just kind of separate those beef strips out. And then you just want to give that beef time in that beautiful oil to get nice and crispy and crunchy and really sort of deeply dark golden. Okay guys, so this is the kind of situation that we're looking at here. Oh, look at that, crispy, bubbling color. Oh, I love it, love, love, love. Okay, get that onto some paper towel just to drain off the excess oil. And now we can go on with our final batch. Just while the second batch is cooking, it's always customary to kind of snack on the beef you've already cooked. I love how crunchy that is, but then also how tender that beef is. You guys won't believe it. Oh, it's so good. Such a good way to use a cheaper cut of meat, actually. Try not to eat the whole tray before the end. Okay, so have a look here. That crispy, craggly stuff I was talking about earlier, that is what's going on with our beef right now. That is one very good looking tray right there. All right, let's get on with the sauce, because that's our next big thing here. I'm gonna start off with some soy sauce. And then some dark sweet soy sauce. Now you guys are always asking me about this. So dark sweet soy sauce is called a couple of different things depending on where you are. In Thailand, we just call it sweet black soy sauce. In Indonesia or Australia, you might call it ketchup manis, but it typically is a lot thicker and more viscous than a regular Chinese dark soy sauce, which you can also use, by the way. It's mainly for color that we're using this one here. And now, okay, here's a little bit of a controversial ingredient. Well, I don't know why it's controversial, because it's just ketchup, and ketchup is tangy and sweet and has that umami kind of thing going on. So, don't be a food snob. I like it in this dish, and that's why I'm using it in this dish. And now here's a little bit of an unusual ingredient. This is Chinese Chengqiang black vinegar. It has a really lovely kind of fruity flavor rather than just being like a plain tart kind of vinegar flavor. If you can't get a hold of Chinese black vinegar, just go with like half white vinegar, half balsamic vinegar. That's going to totally work for you. And then we need some heat here, of course. So I'm going to go in with some chili flakes here. Just give that a mix. And now we're ready to get everything together in our wok. All right, now I just want to add a little bit of oil and some onion. Now what you want to do here is give that onion time to kind of, you know, soften up a little, get a little bit of color. Now, wok cooking at home always takes a lot longer than you think, because I know everyone always says, you know, hard and fast with wok cooking, and that's totally true if you're in a Chinese restaurant and you have a massive gas burner that is really powerful. But at home, I'm guaranteeing that hardly anyone has one of those. I don't know anyone that does. I don't. So I'm assuming you don't either, which means you need to give your ingredients time every time you add an ingredient in to kind of get some of that love from the heat. It's not the same as in the movies. So only now am I just starting to see some nice color on my onions. So now I'm going to go in with my capsicum. And again, give that capsicum some time to get a little bit kind of burnished at the edges. So at this point, guys, you want to turn the heat off because the sauce is a little sweet. I don't want it to burn. And now the fun part, we're going to add in our sauce. We're just going to bubble up and get nice and sticky and lovely and amazing. And add in your beef. And now guys, this is where all the magic happens. So that sauce is gonna get stuck to the outside and everything is gonna get shiny and amazing and luscious. Oh, that is looking totally lush right now. I wanna add a little bit of a sprinkling of sesame seeds though to kind of make everything even more delish. And now that just gets served out onto a plate. Now final little bits of zhuzhing here, some more sesame seeds, a little bit of spring onion, and there you go guys, like sticky, shiny, crispy beef, all the good things. Let's get in here and let's just make sure that this is a really good one for you. Oh, I am going to enjoy this. It smells so good. It is like scary how good that is. You know, that sauce was so simple, but the flavor, sweet, tangy, spicy, so complex, and the beef, beautifully tender, like kind of crispy, but tender, amazing. Oh, yum. You've got to try this one, guys.